that was ridiculous. That was childish. And Sabrina had to let it be known. Yeah, I don't really think that was necessary. She trying to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying that.
Now, Sabrina Ionescu swiftly, and in a hurry, kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots. But
Sabrina Ionescu did not like this shit, by the way.
And you can just see, even with the way Sabrina Ionescu's reacting, she's like, what did you just say?
And right in front of Sabrina Ionescu, right there, right next to her, you have no shame. Like, Kelsey Plum is trashy, bro. There's a reason why Darren Waller left your ass. Smart man, by the way, because his salary was pretty nice when he signed with the Giants.
Y'all need media training, bro. Like, I hate to see. Y'all really, really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
Monday morning in Indianapolis, the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game post-game press conference took a dramatic turn when Kelsey Plum publicly singled out Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark's squad for missing the Saturday morning solidarity meeting. The very gathering that was intended to showcase a united front, players donning "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts to press the league for fair compensation, became ground zero for a feud, as Plum casually noted that 0 members of Team Clark were present. The tension in the room spiked instantly. Sabrina Ionescu, seated beside her, couldn't hide her disbelief. Her eyebrow twitch transformed into a theatrical eye roll, the universal sign of silent contempt. Even teammates like Nafisa Collier leaned in, puzzled by Plum's audacity, as reporters sensed headlines in the making. Fans are now scrambling for answers. Earlier that morning, during a pre-game breakfast huddle led by veteran stars like Io Wilson and Becky Hammon, players had meticulously planned the solidarity demonstration. Reporters scribbled furiously, recognizing the exchange as instant front-page fodder.
The shirts read, "Pay us what you owe us." And, of course, everybody clowned that.
You said you wanted to look united, and you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
Tension crackled through the arena. Even veteran forward Chiny Ogwumike motioned for Plum to back off, but to no avail. Before Plum's jab, the morning's meeting had symbolized WNBA unity. Players huddled over T-shirts, coordinating protest against unresolved collective bargaining negotiations. The movement's power lay in solidarity, sending a loud message: neglect us at your peril. But the moment Plum undercut that narrative by calling out Clark's absence, she turned camaraderie into controversy. Ionescu's response was electric. With a sardonic smile barely concealed, she quipped, "That really needed to be mentioned?" Her tone dripped sarcasm as the room erupted in uncomfortable laughter. Plum pressed forward, unshaken by her teammates' public rebuke, illustrating either tone deafness or sheer bravado. Whatever the motive, relations between these stars had visibly fractured.
We know your league doesn't make a profit, and the only hopes of it making a profit is that lady right there on my screen.
y'all only got close to the green for the first time ever because of Caitlin Clark's here.
The shock was compounded by context. Clark had remained at home, nursing a groin injury, and couldn't even defend herself. Her absence wasn't a snub, but necessity. Yet Plum's comment implied disrespect, framing Team Clark's injury-related overstay as disinterest in the cause. The injustice of that implied accusation fueled Ionescu's righteous indignation. Even beyond Ionescu's theatrical disdain, the wider irony pierced deeper. Clark, despite limited minutes on the court this season, generates over 55% of league revenues. Her marketability underpins the very pay Rays players now demand. By mocking her absence, Plum inadvertently attacked the league's financial backbone. The moment transcended silence and morphed into pure pop culture theater. Ionescu's expression summed up the absurdity. One player trying to protect an injured peer, another launching public shots at her.
You tried to get them more money last year behind the scenes. They still didn't like you. You came out and spoke out for black women and black women athletes, especially black women basketball players. They still don't like it. Don't matter what you do. The peers of the WNBA do not mess with you. It just is what it is.
The fissure in the United Front was laid bare as insiders whispered. This is the most toxic press conference in WNBA history. Social media exploded within minutes. Memes of Ionescu's "I roll" flooded feeds, while fans demanded Plum enroll in media training. Pundits questioned whether a professional athlete should publicly demean an injured colleague at a solidarity event meant to highlight labor grievances. But this story doesn't end in a room full of awkward chuckles. While Plum doubled down on shade, Clark prepared her own response. Operating on another level, she bided her time, totally absent from the drama, only to unleash what fans are calling the most savage comeback in WNBA history. Her next move would redefine star power. Clark's response arrived on Instagram, a photo of the Solidarity shirt overlaid with the caption, "United we stand, exposed we fall." That one-liner made fans applaud her retaliation.
You know what? Caitlin Clark didn't have to do that. She didn't have to wear the shirt or anything, but she did it out of solidarity and good faith to help support the WNBA and the other players. What do? You discredit her and discredit everybody on her team about it.
The press conference in Indianapolis erupted when Kelsey Plum publicly called out Team Clark for skipping Saturday morning's solidarity meeting, the very gathering meant to unify WNBA stars behind the "Pay Us What You Owe Us" movement. Plum's blunt observation, 0 members of Team Clark were very present, hit like a thunderclap, shredding the carefully crafted narrative of unity. Seated beside her, Sabrina Ionescu reacted instantly. Her eyebrows shot up in shock. Then she delivered the perfect eye roll, an unspoken retort so sharp it rippled through the room. With a voice dripping sarcasm, she let Plum know exactly how unnecessary that jab was. That really needed to be mentioned? Ionescu's poised comeback revealed her maturity and loyalty, especially considering she had been selected to Team Clark before Clark's unfortunate injury withdrawal. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark watched from home, sidelined by a groin injury, but never out of the game. Clark's absence was medical necessity, not indifference. Yet Plum's remark implied disrespect. Ironically, Clark's marketability drives over 55% of WNBA revenue. She's the engine keeping arenas full and sponsors engaged. Without her, ticket prices at Gainbridge Fieldhouse plummeted by more than 50%. Attacking her presence at a solidarity event is like kicking the table that feeds you. But Clark wasn't about to engage in public drama. Instead, she plotted a strategic strike. On Plum's Instagram post, Clark dropped 6 words that stung harder than any conference room barb. "Thank you for the Nike ad." Plum, an Under Armour athlete, had inadvertently promoted Clark's Nike contract. The subtle clapback converted Plum's social media into free advertising for Clark's sponsor, undercutting her opponent without a single expletive. Fans and analysts went wild. Memes of Ionescu's "I roll" flooded social feeds, while Clark's witty response trended on X. Even NBA legends couldn't resist weighing in. Former Bulls All-Star publicly called Plum's remark tone deaf, reminding viewers that unity and respect are the cornerstones of professional sports. When icons like that publicly rebuke you, it's clear a line has been crossed. The business stakes could not be higher. The WNBA operates on razor-thin margins, and sponsors only tolerate controversy when star power justifies it. Clark is that star. Her brand deals and the audiences she commands drive the very revenue players are now demanding in their collective bargaining negotiations. Yet some veterans refuse to acknowledge her value, choosing petty slights over solidarity. Under Armour took a hit as Plum's offhand remark overshadowed her own sponsor, while Nike celebrated a surge in engagement. Critics seized on the irony. Some veterans label Clark's fanbase racist, yet depend on those same supporters to fuel their wage demands. In a league vying for legitimacy, undermining its top asset risks alienating sponsors. To earn million-dollar paydays, players need proven viewership beyond Clark. This moment defines future negotiations. The fallout is a cautionary tale. Professionalism demands protecting the league's biggest asset, not disparaging her behind microphones. Ionescu understood that instinctively, hurling nothing more than a well-timed eye roll and sarcastic retort. Clark, on the other hand, demonstrated true confidence by letting her brand do the talking. 6 words that landed harder than any public feud. As whispers of Plum's misstep echo through locker rooms and boardrooms alike, one fact stands out. Unity only works when players recognize the power each teammate brings. And when you undermine the star who shoulders more than half your league's revenue, you're not just disrespecting her. You're betraying everyone who believed in common cause. Let's be serious here. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing in the numbers. We watched ticket prices plunge 50% the moment her injury withdrawal was announced. An all-star game half empty because the league's biggest draw wasn't on the floor. That should tell every veteran player exactly who the real face of the WNBA is. Television ratings for Clark-led matchups smash all previous WNBA records. Merchandise sales skyrocket anywhere her name appears. Every jump shot, every viral highlight. Her brand fuels the league's bottom line. Without her star power, those pay us what you owe us shirts are just empty fabric. You can't demand raises if your demand wasn't even on the balance sheet. That moment on stage, when Kelsey Plum, wearing one of those very solidarity shirts, casually quipped that 0 members of Team Clark showed up to the Saturday morning planning session, was the very definition of biting the hand that feeds you. In one breath, she undercut a plea for fair wages. In the next, she refused to acknowledge the woman funding those wages. Worse, Plum's shade came at an event designed to unite players against the league's stodgy and negotiating tactics. Instead of solidarity, she sparked drama. Instead of spotlighting labor grievances, she spotlighted a teammate's medical absence. An absence caused by a groin injury that prevented Clark from even stepping on the court. It was tone-deaf, petty, and self-defeating. Meanwhile, Sabrina Ionescu sat beside her, smoldering with disbelief. One eyebrow arch, one epic eye roll, instant meme material. With perfect sarcasm, she reminded Plum that slagging Clark was unnecessary. That really needed to be mentioned? No podium clapback could have been sharper. Ionescu's reaction alone laid bare which pros understood the bigger picture and which ones didn't. But Clark's mastery lies in restraint. She didn't storm a mic or launch a social media tirade. She waited patiently, choosing a 6-word comeback that landed harder than any hashtag. Replying to Plum's Instagram, Clark wrote, "Thank you for the Nike ad." Plum, an Under Armour athlete, had unwittingly promoted Clark's Nike partner, turning her rival's post into free marketing gold. The business irony is staggering. WNBA franchises rely on revenue streams that only exist because of Clark's marketability. Networks chase her storylines. Sponsors pay top dollar for her image. Yet some veterans would rather tear her down than leverage her success. It's like a bakery suing the person who brings in the most customers. Absurd, counterproductive, and ultimately self-destructive. Even NBA legends have chimed in, publicly calling out Plum's misstep. When championship ring holders question your professionalism, it's time to reevaluate. Social feeds exploded with fans demanding Plum learn some media training, while analysts noted that Unity demands protecting your league's biggest asset, not scapegoating her over grievances that can't exist without her star power. This controversy uncovers a deeper cultural rift in the WNBA, one where drama sometimes overshadows the sport itself. Players momentarily forget that their collective bargaining strength only works when their most bankable talents are elevated, not undermined. Turning a solidarity event into a shadow boxing match paints the league as fragile rather than formidable. Every moment of this spectacle sends sponsors running for cover, questioning whether the WNBA values solidarity over sensationalism. Without unity, trust erodes and growth stalls. Professionalism means rallying around your peers when it matters most. Instead of high school drama and public shade throwing, the league needs collective strategy, not scattershot feuds. Protect the star that fuels the machine, because biting that hand only leaves everyone hungrier. And if you thought this was intense, buckle up for what comes next. The most infuriating part of all this chaos is that Caitlin Clark has done absolutely nothing to deserve the torrent of hostility aimed at her. From the moment she stepped onto a WNBA court, Clark has been the embodiment of humility and professionalism, navigating rookie season pressures that would overwhelm veterans twice her age. She's never shied away from accountability. Even when racist remarks surfaced online, she publicly supported the league's investigation, making it clear that respect and safety aren't optional, but fundamental rights for every player. Contrast that principled behavior with the small-minded antics of certain veterans who've resorted to petty jabs and unprovoked attacks behind her back. While Clark has been tirelessly growing the league's profile, breaking viewership records, selling out arenas, and elevating women's basketball to new heights, some of her peers have focused their energy on undercutting her achievements. Rather than celebrating her successes or collaborating to lift everyone up, they choose drama over dialogue, personal slights over professional solidarity. This isn't just about hurt feelings or locker room gossip. When one superstar shows grace under fire and another resorts to off-court theatrics, it becomes crystal clear which approach truly benefits the sport and which dragged it down. Clark's seamless response to every challenge, from rookie jitters to social media attacks, has been to double down on excellence, letting her game speak louder than any whisper campaign. Meanwhile, the criticisms lobbed at her by more seasoned players revealed deep insecurities and a failure to grasp the bigger picture. In professional sports, the sum is only as strong as its brightest star. Moreover, this isn't an isolated personality clash. It hints at a broader cultural problem within the league. When multiple players across different franchises consistently single out Clark, in press conferences on social platforms, and in post-game interviews, it suggests an undercurrent of resistance to change. Instead of uniting around the unprecedented surge in popularity that Clark has fueled, some choose to cling to outdated hierarchies and gatekeep the spotlight. That mindset is toxic because it erodes trust among teammates, alienates fans, and risks turning the WNBA into a battlefield of egos rather than a showcase of elite athleticism. Business realities underscore how counterproductive this behavior is. Clark isn't just a highlight reel phenom. She's the league's primary revenue generator. Networks schedule marquee matchups around her, brands vie for her endorsement, and ticket prices spike whenever she's on a roster. All the pay us what you owe us rhetoric, demanding better wages and conditions, only holds water because Clark's star power has lifted the entire platform. To undermine her is to undermine the very leverage WNBA players are fighting to wield. Yet, despite the personal attacks and behind-the-scenes sniping, Clark remains unfazed. She doesn't publicly retaliate. She reserves her energy for the court, where her performances continue to redefine what a rookie can achieve. That level of composure isn't just admirable, it's instructive. It shows aspiring athletes everywhere that professionalism isn't about never facing adversity. It's about rising above it with dignity, poise, and unshakable focus. As the league grapples with collective bargaining, media narratives, and the struggle for equitable pay, it needs more leaders like Clark, players who champion the cause with actions, not accusations. Because in the end, unity isn't born from shouting over one another, but from recognizing that every teammate's success amplifies the group's impact. If you're as fired up by Clark's grace under fire as we are, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and let us know in the comments. Who else in the WNBA deserves more spotlight? Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss our deep dives into the hottest stories in women's basketball.